Good evening, everybody. It's System Chalk here with, I believe, the 62nd episode of the Cultist Simulator Apostle Obsonate playthrough with Ike Upscribe. It's been a little while since I've taken a look at the board, so looks like we've got a Callagine which is about to expire. I think I was sending them to deal with some evidence. No, we don't have the evidence yet. That is going to be something I need to deal with, I believe, or maybe we already got rid of it. I also think we're on our way to Foxlily Meadows, and I am going to need to find a way to deal with Dread. But I am... Right, okay, I think I know where we're going. So the Callagine is going to need to... I'm going to need to use the Callagine eventually to get rid of the evidence, but we haven't had a notoriety pulled up yet. Looks like we already got rid of the evidence that I was previously worried about. I'm going to probably use my go on an expedition to Foxlily Meadows. We've got 6 funds, which isn't a ton. It is possible that we'll lose some challenges, but I think we are comfortable enough to move forward. And then that gives me an option to, sort of lay low, get rid of the notoriety, and then sort of bulk up for the remaining expeditions. So let's get that out of the way right now. We'll go to Foxlily, we'll take the Callagine, we'll see. So I have a little bit of a decision to make here. There's one argument that says bring the hint in, because the hint is going to be the thing that that expires next, and so it's creating a certain, it's kind of creating a level playing field amongst all of the summons that are expiring. I don't actually really like that strategy because you can only deal with one summon at a time, so it actually makes sense to have them staggered. And so in this case, I'm actually going to bring the pair of Callagines on the expedition first, then add the hint, which I may not even necessarily be able to do because, of course, there will be challenges that I need to overcome. I'm pretty sure with Foxlily Meadows, which is described as the scent of fox lilies inspires ferocious appetites. It is probably fortunate that they only grow at this altitude. The peasants have organized to keep treasure seekers away, but some treasure seekers fall prey to lily hungers. Their only own treasures lie among the bones, and so the cycle continues. So in this case, it does suggest that there are going to be people who try to stop us. That's going to be my argument for bringing moth followers. The hint is really just so that I can preserve it. And then, we'll see what other followers I can bring along. But with any luck, we'll be able to use this to prolong the life of the summons. The path towards the mountain to the high meadow will be hard. The peasants of the mountains will seek to drive us away. If we return home safe, we may struggle to shake off the visions of this place. Alright, so that's the expedition dealt with. We are also currently reading the Book of Thrones, so my apologies to those of you who are watching this playlist in a big long list, but let's read that again. The first and greatest history, a subject of the shadowless empire of Persia, travels to the west, to the kingdom of the Persids. There he becomes a protege of the tutelary Persid deity, the scarred man who lives in the dark. He returns after 7 years to put his skills at the service of the shadowless empire, becoming their golden general. And then the rest, I think we just need to wait to have run through. So let's see how the round turns out. This is something special. It may provoke a reaction. My recent work is celebrated. My name is known, and my work has done well. Looks like we got 3 funds out of that, if I'm not mistaken. So, some mystique for my trouble. Always happy to have the glimmering. Probably happier once I actually need to start converting some... lore. Got a fleeting reminiscence. I think that was the subject of the painting. Okay, so we earned our pay. Now, of course, we've got some staleness, so I'm gonna push a little bit more passion on this one. See if we can make it happen. I think in this case here, I'm going to take the. So, unlike the summons, I usually like taking the sort of shortest lived, or the longest lived, shortest duration kind of notoriety. Just to sort of allow the other ones to tick down. And of course, the logic here is that the weary detective, or whichever hunter is after you, only needs the one bit of evidence. And so if you have, if everything is sort of at the same level, then that gives you a really clear point where the threat ends. And then, of course, if the notoriety is staggered, you are going to be in danger for the longest, like the longest lived one is going to be the one that will keep you in danger. So that's why I flipped the two around. So you never know, this may be a living, and let's figure out who I want to make as painting. I could, of course, paint the hint to keep it in existence for longer, but we're going to be using that for something else. I could also, I think I can use Glimmering as inspiration, but the worry about this is that it's moth, and so potentially, I mean, we already have some moth in here, but of course the moth potentially brings up old and happy far off things, which is not the best. So let's do a painting of Rhaenyra, always a popular subject. Something to remember them by, perhaps. And dusty facts have come clear in my brain, for now at least. I'm doing this because for Rhaenyra, I know Saliba is going to be sufficient for anything I want the... it's going to be sufficient for anything that I might need Grail for. Expedition continues. I have given my agents the opportunity to serve. Let us hope that it ends well for us all, and now we know what we're up against. So the high passes, bleak and gray-green slopes, lift the eye to distant snow-edged, sky-straining peaks. It'll be a devil of a job to find anything in there. Forge will sustain us, winter will shield us. So of course the Calagenes are a combination of Forge and Moth in terms of their influence, so we're covered there. There's the Watchers, mortals, perhaps even ordinary mortals, but quite a number of them. They can be fought, seduced, or deceived, so Moth will help there. And then finally we are facing the Fifth Eye Curse. We will need Heart or Winter to suppress the curse. Otherwise it will not keep us from our goal, but it may trouble us later. So the plot for this is going to be add funds, because if we do not have 3 funds, we're not going to make it to the end of the expedition. Then we're going to add either a pair of Heart or a pair of Winter followers. I'm probably going to add the Heart just because we have more of them. But you know, I want at least 2 level 5s to get to the level that I need to have the highest chance of passing the curse. Colors of the night. I could spend money on better paints, or perhaps I could find more exotic pigments. After many years of peace, the heirs of the Perseids move against the King of Kings in the Shadowless Empire. The Golden General will not take arms against the blood of his mentor until the King of Kings whispers a great secret of betrayal in his ear. He breaks his sword, forswears his oath to both the Empire and the Scarred Man, and enters the temple behind the world, leaving his life behind. So we found another unresolved ambiguity. This is helpful for us because it's in the Rending Mountains. We've not yet explored that. And we also gain the Lionsmith's names, which we already had before, but of course it's the second one that we have, so we could upgrade it if we wanted the edge equivalent of the Anthic elaboration. So we are in a little bit of a dilemma here. We didn't get any contentment from painting, which means that the dread is still a potential threat to me. Now, you know, I have some options here. I can just avoid studying right now. I could try and mess around, you know, try and, let's say, bring the Forbidden Epic up. So Forbidden Epic we would need... Actually, you know what? That might be a good idea right now. Because I need Erudition and Glimmering, and we have both available at the moment. And... Actually, I also think I have some translation that I need to do. Okay, I'm technically safe from whatever dread might pop up, but let's see if we can get rid of the... the Season of Despair before we go too far on it. So let's try to study the histories. History is less certain than we are taught. I can learn from the study of its blurred edges. That wasn't exactly what I was planning on doing, but I think it was the right call. There are devices in the city that defy the law of the land. There are few that defy the laws of nature. Some are very dangerous. Nothing's happening next, so we should be in good shape there. The sick room grows close and stale. It's time to get up. I don't think I have any other sickness. Again, this is the challenge of going with videos in between the... Or sorry, having events that happen between videos. I'm always a little uncertain of where I stand. I think we're okay. So, as we'd mentioned before, our forge skills represent plenty of expertise. We'll almost certainly make it through. Well, let's start by adding funds, because we have nothing else that's going to expire. The next question would be, how do I want to spend my time? Oh, hang on. What in the world did I just send Tristan to do? I wanted them to repair the Wildring Mirror. My disciple can probably earn funds from illegal laboratories and shadowy manufactories, but there's always a risk of accidents. Oh boy, I hope I don't lose them. Okay, so we're clearly not going back to the peacock door. I suppose I could just wait, or I could try and go through the stag door. Stag door would possibly get me a forbidden epic. Couldn't hurt. The worry would be fascination, and that fascination's going to go away in 50 seconds, so we should be fine. The stag door is the adept's gate. To pass it is to be initiated into the first true mystery of the House of the Sun. The headgear bee weeps to see me enter where it cannot, but it must let me pass. The scarred valves of the door grind open. Alright, so we did get contentment from the painting. So despair is the wolf that devours thought, and we've gotten significant work. So there's a couple mystique. We got another contentment for my trouble. Another glimmering. So I'm not too upset about the mystique. It will keep the Suppression Bureau off my back for a little while. The big question is, I did get rid of the staleness as well. So we made our paints back. That's a net negative because of course we also need to pay the rent. But then that is the reason why I keep painting with the with the passion to make sure. Basically, the idea here is that I want to make sure that my when I go out and do something like really special, like the 3 notoriety, I could even probably get away with a 4 notoriety. Now, that's probably not a bad idea, actually. Let's just go all in on the reputation. I'm kind of curious to see how this works. We'll make a mood piece. This should have an impact. Into the night. Wisdom is a country, and these are its maps. Solve all the challenges of both fragments of lore to complete the research task. You can return to the task later if you fail. Right, my followers returned with rewards of their labor, so we got an iron spintrea for our trouble. Oh, and some money. Okay, well, I'm not going to complain about how that turned out, but I am going to get Tristan to work on... the Wildering Mirror now. Got plenty of bronze spintrea, so we should be able to make a few trips to the peacock door when the time comes. Alright, as always, spend money on the colors of the night. Looks like the weary detective's still getting bamboozled by my mystique. Alright, we would like erudition. That's probably better because that's... I'm happy that they asked for erudition just simply because I know it's the one that I only had one of. If it was something else, there's the possibility that it would have expired. I mean, again, it lasts more than... It lasts long enough that I could get by like 1 tick, but I'm also prone to making mistakes, so it's always nice to sort of have that insurance policy. One way or the other, though, the threats that we were worried about, the dread... Oh, looks like a Season of Despair is going to be coming back. So I may want to be cautious on the books that I read. On the other hand, I don't want to... Like, there is a way of being overly cautious. Like, I should probably be willing to do a little bit more. I don't even know what I think is going to be coming up. So let's go to the Painted River. Worst that happens is I get a Season of Visions, and I have the Fleeting Reminiscence to be able to get rid of it. And we are rewarded with a forbidden epic. There is a great chamber in the Mansus through which the Painted River flows. The vagabond, it is claimed, painted it from memory in the years before she left the house. Certainly there are histories concealed in its design. I traced them with my hand last night. There were fragments of aquamarine paint beneath my nails, flecks of gold leaf when I was done. So let's see how the painting turned out. Celebrated work, so there's the contentment, which I think was the inspiration for the painting, but let's see if we got any more. Glimmering, not surprising there. So we know this mystique. Obviously we didn't use any mystique in making the painting, so that came purely from doing more work. We got a staleness for our effort, no surprises there, but a really good payday. So just because there's going to be a Season of Despair that comes back, I'm going to do another painting of contentment. Now I don't know if this has any effect on how the staleness mechanics work. In this case, we'll take the 29-second one. But I really don't like. I'll do the extra passion just to get rid of the just to get rid of the staleness. Again, if you paint the same theme again, I'm not quite sure what happens, but I want to preserve that just in case we do wind up getting despair from reading a book. Okay, so we're up against the Watchers next. It looks we've got a couple of funds. I suppose the question would be, do I want to add the Heart Followers yet? Because if we're moving against the Watchers and we fail, it's possible they get taken out. So we'll wait on that. And do I think I'm probably not going to be able to go to the Peacock door right away, so let's go back to the Stag door. We will use our reason again, and that's just kind of I'm punting a bit, just because I know I don't have I just don't have the time to be able to get what I need. There it is. Is that it? So we'll need the Glimmering next. Hopefully I'll be able to use my 50-second expiration one. My follower needs a bronze Spintrea or better to complete their task. They shall have it. And we'll spend money on the paints. Weary Detective is bamboozled yet again. Look closer. Closer still. Closer. Keep looking. Closer. Now close your eyes. The world goes away. There's always a risk that you get fascination from high passion paintings, but I think with 3 you should be safe. Then again, I think I said that before and I wound up with, well, we'll figure it out. One of the challenges I run into is that I do know the game reasonably well. Before I did this series, I did have a little bit of a break from live streaming it. But what's nice about this is that little details I'll occasionally forget, or there's been like a patch, and I wind up just kind of discovering that there was something changed in the game in between play sessions, or I'll remember something the way that it was in a earlier build and be done. In fact, when the priest came in, I actually had to read the patch notes to finally figure out one of the final challenges. But I don't know, I like being surprised by stuff. Obviously, the broad strokes for the game are more or less there. But yeah, I mean, there's still some endings that I haven't gotten. It actually gives me fuel for future series and whatnot. But I think in the basics, I'm pretty comfortable with the game. And it's just kind of nice every once in a while to just either rediscover something or find a new detail. Alright, let's give him the Glimmering, and do I want to do anything with my talk verb? So I could try and fix my reputation with a Heart Follower, but honestly at this point I think just letting it expire naturally is the way to go. I could try and do some commissions, but then that would require the work verb, so that's not too helpful at the moment. Sorry to take the time, I just want to see if there's something better I could be doing right now. Well, if money's a challenge, I suppose I could be sending my Forge followers on that again. Now again, it seems to be that from the text there's the worry that I lose them, and it's very clear that with the mirror, I don't want that to happen. So I think for the time being, let's just see. I'm not 100% on how the fortune telling works. This is to kill someone. This is to abduct someone. I think this is burglary. This is to deal with my reputation. This might also be burglary as well. This is almost certainly murder someone. And this is grab some money. Then again, like, what am I losing by sending them out on this stuff? So, okay, let's see just so I can confirm. If I send Porter to do cult business, hoodwink. My disciple can probably use their talent. Okay, right. It's not burglary, it's hoodwinking. I think that means I know all of them. Although maybe I'll try the lantern one again just to see what it does. All right, my recent work has drawn some attention. Something should sell. So Glimmering again, more contentment. It's rather interesting. So I suspect probably it's the passion work that gets you the contentment. I don't know if that, so obviously there are some random elements inside of the game that I'm not aware of, but, well, no, I'm aware of them, but I just don't know how they work. So I wonder if the idea here is that when you're painting with passion, you feel more satisfaction than doing something that the crowd necessarily likes. Hard to believe that a game designer would put that in a game. But yes, I think we're good on the painting thing. Not sure this is the smartest choice, but I am going to do a big... No, we're doing okay for money. Let's start doing some commissions, actually. So I will take the substantial edge commission. We will throw reason at the problem. This may be useful for a commission. Let's just tip over the Watcher. The Watcher's confusion. Their bewilderment is our opportunity. We'll pass in silent secrecy. And that brings us to the end of our time. So as always, thank you very much for watching. If you're enjoying the series and you've not yet subscribed, you can do so. And if you'd like notifications of when videos go online, there's a notification button beside there. If you like the video, you can leave a like. If you didn't like it, you can leave a dislike. And as always, thank you very much for your comments. I know I read all of them, and I try to respond to all of them. I will maybe just say, I hope if you are hearing this and you're one of these people, you don't feel put on the spot too much, but I do not respond to the comments that tell me how to play the game, because I feel very comfortable with the game, and I also think that it's really important that people be able to play Cultist Simulator on their own terms, and I would really like to foster a culture in which people are given answers if they ask for them, but the answers are not necessarily volunteered, because at least for me, a huge part of the experience has been to learn the game on my own. So, as always, I appreciate the spirit behind it, but it's actually something I usually do not react well to, and I'm trying to just play the incentives the way I think they should be. So, if you feel like I've not been responsive to your comments, it's possible because I perceived it as telling me how to play the game. And hopefully this comment will bring them through. However, that does not mean that I am not grateful for the the interaction. I appreciate it very much, but in my own case, I've sort of decided that the best way to handle that, just because it's a little inconsistent with what I think is best about Cultist Simulator, I don't engage with it just simply because I would prefer people to be able to ask for help and get it rather than have it volunteered. So until Friday, thank you very much for watching.